So first step, get your car propped up on some ramps or some jack stands and pop the hood. You're going to be spending a lot of time under it, so you're going to want pretty secure lift there. So first step after you get your engine cover off there is you're going to be removing these bolts that hold on the heat shield for the turbo. I've got an aftermarket Grimspeed shield on here, so I only have 3 bolts, but you're probably going to have something like 5 or 7. So you take a 10mm wrench for this. A ratcheting wrench works really well, and take them all off. It's another hard to see bolt that's right down there. Right down there. Once you get that off, you're just going to wiggle this heat shield right out. A socket works pretty good for this one as well. So all the bolts are off and I'm just pulling her out here. These heat shields, especially the Grimspeed heat shield, is pretty damn annoying to pull through here because it only comes out and goes in one way. So here we go. Put you like that. Guys, now the heat shield is out, and you're going to want to make sure your turbo is not hot at this point because you're going to be removing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, another bolt that's under the turbo. And you're going to do that and drop your downpipe. So here we go. These are 14mm bolts. So I'm going to use my torque wrench here because it's got a nice long arm, and these things are sometimes pretty tight. Alright, the next 2 we're going to go under the car to do. So we're taking out those 2 bolts right here and here. Now we're going to drop the downpipe. And before we do that, we'll also need to take out this bolt that bolts it to the transmission there. I've got a hex head, or external Torx head bolt in there because there's a mechanic that was doing some work on my car and put that in. For some reason, it's not the stock bolt, so you'll have probably a 14mm bolt or something on there that you'll need to take out. Here we go. Okay, so here we are. Downpipe is off and it's down. And if you take a look under the car here, you'll see that I've got it lying down there. I actually detached it from the exhaust as well. And one thing I forgot to mention is make sure you detach your oxygen sensor, your root O2 sensor. Just unclip it and drop it along with the downpipe. You don't want that to hang there or it's going to damage it. That's about another $100 to replace. So we're back up to the top here now. And we can begin detaching this up pipe here. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts. And the other thing we're going to do is drop the, I don't know what you call it, the skid plate, the plastic skid plate from under the engine. And that's going to give us access to the headers and the bottom part of the downpipe, or the up pipe there. So here we go. Okay, so here's how we're going to drop the under shield here that protects the engine. Is we're going to reach behind the wheel and detach this first pin here. Pull that off. Moving around here. Damn, this is a hard thing to capture. next one. Oh, it's ringing. 1 second here. Okay, so moving on here. There's the next bolt. We've got one up here, and then same on the other side, so one there, and then around the other side. Let's go ahead and remove those. One thing I should mention is wear safety glasses, because a lot of shit falls out of your car here, and it can go in your eyes and really screw you up. Let's see if I can get a good angle for this. It's pretty simple. You're going to use flathead screwdriver and a pliers, or I've got this nifty trim removal tool, but I find it's actually pretty shitty. It doesn't work that well. Best thing to do, pliers and flathead screwdriver. This is how I usually remove these things. Super annoying part of the car to work with. Pop it up like that. I also end up breaking most of these things as I'm working with them. Force that under there and pop, and she's out. A little bit more. Where'd you go? Oh, it's over there. Alright, that's just gonna come off like that. Show over here now. I'm not really even too sure if you can see this, because this is a GoPro and I don't have a display. So, what's up, Ken? You're probably a 12, right? Pretty sure this is a 12. Yeah, it's 12. Boom. Next one over here. And of course we've got that one there. It's already starting to come down, you can see. There's all kinds of leaves and shit trapped under it. Let's grab that trim remover. Now where's my pliers? Oh, it's getting cold out here. I read about a guy that used forks to get these off one time. I thought, hey, that's cool. Use a fork. And I ended up destroying that fork. So don't use a fork. Where the hell did that other one go? There it is. And it just comes off nicely. Like now we get our first view of the bottom of the engine here, and you can see I've got one heat shield off because I just left it off. And this is the crosspipe header. You need to take this heat shield off, and you may need to, you may not need to. It depends if you want to unbolt your headers on both sides or if you want to unbolt the crosspipe. I'm actually just going to unbolt the crosspipe and this header, so I'll leave that one on there. You might choose differently, but that's your choice, right? Alright, so next thing we're gonna do here, that's my lens, it's good. Here's your front O2 sensor. I did a video about changing this one time, and that'll give you a P0031 code if that goes bad. You're gonna remove this, and yeah, remove that, and then you're gonna unbolt this connection, and unbolt this connection, and that's gonna take off your header and unbolt your uppipe. at the bottom. Then we'll go up and we'll unbolt it at the top too. So here we go. So I'm using an O2 sensor removal tool here, which is just a socket with a hole there for the wire to go through. Ooh, there we go. And this you can actually just let hang there, or stick it back here so it's out of the way. Next up, get those bolts on. There she goes. Oh, look at that. You can take it off with your finger after you break it. I'm just going to leave that loose for now until I get everything else off, and then I'll go ahead and remove it fully. I'm actually going to PV spray these things just to make it a little easier here. Alright, 5 bolts to remove here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's break them off. 14 millimeters. Again, a breaker bar is your best friend here because these bolts are fucking tough if you don't use one. I know because I did it last time like that. And man, did it take me forever. We're only about an hour and a half into the job here, and it's moving pretty nicely so far. One thing I always worry about here is dropping these bolts into the turbo, so try not to do that. Pretty careful here when you loosen them. So we're fully disconnected at the top here. And we're gonna go down, disconnect her there, and pull her out. But before we do so, just one last thing to look at here. And that's this black wire, which you see is connected to the Uppipe there. And that is the EGT sensor. So, you can see where I'm pulling here. Black wire coming out of there, feeds around here to the EGT sensor that plugs in there. We're gonna remove that flathead screw. There we go. Unplugged. Just feed it around. And I know for a fact this Uppipe can definitely come out without releasing the engine and jacking it up, because I have taken it out before. So here we go. Under the car, we're gonna get it out. So this is the part where you want to watch out, because there is huge potential to be hit in the face by your car. Heavier than you think it is. This was actually a new gasket that I had bought maybe 200 kilometers ago, 500 kilometers ago. Still looks pretty good. I'll reuse this one. No leaks. Okay, a pipe's coming up now. Lots of swearing to be had here. Told you it could be done. So I wrestled with it for a little bit and I got it up there. I actually took a pliers and bent the heat shield mounting points back a little bit because it looked like they were a little bit different on this one, and as such they were blocking the path a bit. But she's up there now. I'm gonna secure some points at the top and then we'll come back down here and complete the install. Hold up there, dude. Those two are on, that's good. So I'm just going to secure these lightly here. I don't want to actually fasten them down yet because there's still a lot of adjustments that need to be made in the fitment of this Uppipe. And as I get back to the bottom there, you'll see it makes it difficult to put on the manifold if you fasten these down immediately. Last time I did that, I had to undo the cross pipe on the other side, and that was just annoying as hell. So we're not doing that this time.